Hi there, Jeremy Shirk with Nebraska Realty here. I'm here with another realtor rambling moment for you. Today I'm going to talk to you about why, if you are thinking about buying a house, you need to find a buyer's agent. Now, I've heard this asked a lot of times lately and it still surprises me. Why do I need a buyer's agent? Isn't there already an agent on the house? That's true, there is a listing agent on the house, but that listing agent does not represent you. It does not represent the transaction. That listing agent represents the seller. It is their fiduciary duty, their legal responsibility to represent the seller for the best possible deal for the seller, which of course is generally contrary to the best possible deal for the buyer. If you're going up against a trained professional on the other side of a transaction, why would you not want a trained professional that also represents you? You're going to need somebody who is used to the negotiating tactics, who understands the way that real estate works, who can help you navigate through things like the initial contract process, seller's request, seller closing costs, if you need them, whether or not you need to offer a higher price. We need to make sure that you're competitive. The second reason is because, as you've probably heard, the market's tight, especially if you're in a first-time homebuyer market. You're under that $175,000, under $150,000. That market gets really tight. Right now, as of this morning, there's just under 1,800 homes currently listed in Omaha, which sounds like a lot until you think that that's probably only half to two-thirds of what it was last year at this time. And we also have a lot more buyers out there looking. Millennials have decided it's time for them to buy. They're moving out of their parents' place, they're graduating college, they're done renting apartments, and they're ready to buy a place of their own and put down some roots. Good for them. Now, just because the market's tight does not mean you can't find your dream home. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you need help finding your dream home. It's not enough to just monitor Zillow and Trulia and Realtor. It's not enough to drive around looking for signs. You need to make sure that you have somebody who is dedicated to finding you your wish list as soon as it hits the market. As a realtor, I have access to the multiple listing service. I can set up your parameters, bedrooms, bathrooms, style, neighborhood. We can find out the minute anything hits the market in that neighborhood. In some cases, because of all the networking that I've done, there's realtors who email me upcoming listings, coming soons, previews. So sometimes we can get that house before it hits the market officially. We can know where it's at, and we can be ready to pounce on it when it hits the market. You just, as an average buyer, cannot be that competitive because you don't have access to the resources that realtors do as licensed agents. The other reason that you're going to be looking for a real estate agent is because it doesn't end with just finding the house. Finding the house is only half the battle, especially in a situation where you have a multiple offer situation. You need to be able to draft a very competitive offer. Now, does that always mean the highest price? No. Sometimes that means you look at contingencies, inspections, radon. You look at whether or not the appraisal requirements, your type of mortgage versus another type of mortgage, be it VA, FHA, conventional, NIFA. They can all get houses. They just have to tweak their offer a little bit. Sometimes it's a matter of earnest deposit, closing date. What we need to do is we need to list your priorities in the highest order and figure out how we can make your offer as competitive and as strong as possible. I hear agents saying, oh, nobody's getting sellers closing costs in their offers. I just closed a deal this week that had sellers cost paid, but that's because we made the offer extremely competitive otherwise. It just is a matter of tweaking things a little bit. And you need a professional on your side to help you get what you need and want to figure out how to get the house that you want. The other reason is because after you find that house and you make the competitive offer, it gets accepted, you're going to be going through things like there's going to be an inspection probably. There may be a radon inspection. You're going to have to negotiate repairs that may need to be done. You're going to need to make sure major systems aren't in need of repair or damage. You're going to need home warranties. You're going to have the appraisal process. You're going to have closing. You're going to have to deal with the bank. Buying a house is not a small deal, and for most of us it shouldn't be. It's our largest investment. It's the biggest asset we will ever own. It's where most Americans build their primary wealth, is in their home ownership. So it only makes sense that you have a professional on your side to guide you through a very complicated 30 to 45 day process. It's our job to alleviate your stress. It's our job to make sure you know what's coming next. It's our job that if an issue does pop up, we make sure that it's just a little speed bump and not a hurdle to your, not a complete roadblock to your achieving your dream. We'll help you find solutions. We can iron that out. There's a lot of things that we can do that may not spring to mind just because we've been in these situations every day of our lives. It's what we get paid for. For most people, this is, a once every 3 to 5 year, maybe even once every 10-year proposition to go through this. The final point I want to make about a buyer's agent is that we are getting competitive, and I am seeing some buyer's agents write in portions of their fees where the seller's agent is paying less of the buyer's agent's commission, but we're talking a couple $100, definitely less than $1,000. This is such a small amount of pay to pay for somebody who's going to navigate this very big transaction. You're looking at spending over $100,000, and you're going to not get the best possible deal and the most assistance over a couple $100, and that seems a little out there for me when you really weigh the balance and the cost-benefit analysis. And the majority of buyers' commissions are paid by the seller's agent. We, as buyer's agents, only get paid when we've done a good job for you and we close the transaction. We get paid out of that transaction. So in the event you don't get the result you're looking for, you don't get the closing you're looking for, it's a no risk scenario for you. So I really have a hard time understanding why you as a buyer would not reach out and try to find somebody to help you through this complicated process. I hope that you will, whether that's me or someone else. Of course, I would love for it to be me, but if you should have professional representation when you're going out to buy a house. That's my biggest concern. I hope you guys can get that point across. It will help the transaction go smoother. It will make your buying experience more enjoyable and memorable for you, and you can sleep a little easier knowing that there's somebody who's doing a professional job to negotiate the best possible deal for you. So I'm Jeremy Shirk with Nebraska Realty. This has been another Realtor Rambling Moment. I hope it's been helpful, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach me on Facebook at Jeremy Shirk Realtor, or you can just give me a call and we can discuss it. Thanks so much. Have a good day.